Hey friends, what's good? Derek here from Bomb Socks with another day of Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ one bite at a time. So today we are getting into Mosiah chapter 1, and there's a cool little principle here to start off that I think is such a crucial element to what we're going through here in the Book of Mormon. Now, first of all, in verse number 1, you've got a group of people where there is no more contention in all the land of Zarahemla among all of the people who belonged to King Benjamin, so that Benjamin had continual peace all the remainder of his days. You know, we talked last week about, in the words of Mormon, how King Benjamin had quite a contentious people, but as he worked through all of these things, like having the words of holy prophets, having individuals to help him out, having the scriptures, which we'll talk more about this in a second right here, he was able to establish peace in the land. Verse number 2, he's got 3 sons, Mosiah, Helorum, and Helaman, and King Benjamin is getting older, and so he's ready to pass on the kingdom to one of his sons. And these are good men, men of understanding, as it said, brought up that they might know the prophecies would have been spoken by the mouths of their fathers. So these were guys who were taught from the scriptures, which leads us to verse 3. He also taught them concerning the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, saying, My sons, I would that ye should remember that were it not for these plates which contain these records and these commandments, we must have suffered in ignorance, even at this present time, not knowing the mysteries of God. So this really takes me back to a pivotal moment in the Book of Mormon, back in 1 Nephi chapter 3 and 4, where Lehi basically says, guys, we have got to go back and get the plates. We've got to have the scriptures, because if we don't, we are going to suffer in ignorance. That's why it was so important for Nephi and his brothers to go back and get the plates, even though Laman and Lemuel said it is a hard thing. Nephi is like, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded. I know that the Lord doesn't give me a commandment that he doesn't fully expect me to obey, even though it will be a hard thing. And this was a hard thing to go back and get those plates, but it has blessed their lives so much. This is even why Nephi had to kill a man to be able to get them. You think about what was told to him in chapter 4 verse 13, where it says, Behold, the Lord slayeth the wicked to bring forth his righteous purposes. It is better that one man should perish than a nation should dwindle and perish in unbelief. Basically, if you don't do this, this is not just going to affect you guys, it's going to affect generations. So they're going to struggle and dwindle in their unbelief if they do not have these scriptures right here. Now, back to Mosiah chapter 1, verses 4 and 5. For it were not possible that our father Lehi could have remembered all of these things to have taught them to his children, except it were for the help of these plates. For he, having been taught the language of the Egyptians, therefore he could read these engravings and teach them to his children, that thereby they could teach them to their children, and so fulfilling the commandments of God even down to this present time. I say unto you, my sons, were it not for these things, again, the plates here, which have been kept and preserved by the hand of God, that we might read and understand of his mysteries, there's that word again, and have his commandments always before our eyes, that even our fathers would have dwindled in unbelief, and we should have been like unto our brethren the Lamanites, who know nothing concerning these things, or even do not believe them when they are taught them, because of the traditions of their fathers, which are not correct. I'm pretty sure Laman and Lemuel were not trying to copy down plates really quickly as they were separating themselves from the Nephites. The scriptures were never a part of their lives, and as the scriptures were not a part of their lives, they were not a part of their kids' lives, and so forth. But then you've got Nephi and his family who kept teaching them and passing these plates along. You know, I look at the record keeping that kept going on from writer to writer, even like in the book of Omni. You got these 5 guys who wrote in Omni. Some of them just wrote a verse or two, so I want to give them credit for at least continuing the writing and moving these things forward. Now, there's a cool little statement here in verses 6 and 7 that I love. O my sons, I would that ye should remember that these sayings are true, and that these records are true. And behold also the plates of Nephi, which contain the records and the sayings of our fathers from time to time, which contain the records and sayings of our fathers from the time they left Jerusalem until now. And we can know of their assurity, because we have them before our eyes. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. And I would that ye should keep the commandments of God, that ye may prosper in the land according to the promises which the Lord made unto our fathers. Again, it's that promise we talked about last time. Inasmuch as ye keep my commandments, you will prosper in the land. And you know these commandments because you've got them here on these plates. So I can't overstress the importance of having the records and having the plates. This is where you see the fulfillment of that prophecy way back in 1 Nephi chapter 4. It's like, look, there's going to be a people who will dwindle and perish in ignorance and unbelief if you do not have these plates. That's what happened to the Lamanites, and it is not happening to the Nephites because they have them before their eyes. You know, we are so blessed to be able to have scriptures right before our eyes. I remember a time, and many of you do as well, where we didn't just keep scriptures with us at all times. Like, you didn't just carry around a copy of the scriptures wherever you went. And now we've got them right on our phones and on our devices, and it's so cool to be able to have them there. I remember having a seminary student one time, this was probably 15 years ago. He had a little military edition copy of the Book of Mormon. He always had it with him. In fact, I remember bumping into him at a store one time, and I said, "Hey, do you have it with you?" He's like, "Yep, got it right here." The scriptures meant so much to him, he always had them with him. Wherever he was at, he could pull out a copy of the Book of Mormon and just read whatever he wanted. We can do that anytime. We have so much before our eyes, and we are blessed to have them before our eyes. So when it comes to the scriptures, we as members of the church cannot claim ignorance. We have them with us, and it's a blessing to have them with us. In fact, it is quite the opposite, because we have the blessing of always having them before our eyes. And because of that, we are able to, like it said in the verse there, profit and prosper. I am so grateful for the scriptures. I'm grateful for the technologies that we have to be able to always have them with us. I'm grateful for the sacrifices of individuals long before me that made it so scriptures are more readily available to you and I. I am grateful for them. I'm grateful that I can take them with me wherever I go and have them before my eyes. I love them, and I know that they are true. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing these messages. As always, so grateful that you do that. If you like what you see, click the like button. And of course, you've got to go check out our amazingly comfortable gospel themed socks at bombsocks.com. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you. Godspeed. Bye-bye.